Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer D'Ambrosio, and I am with Community Services, Douglas County. And this is the 2025 Developmental Disabilities Mill Levy Grant Applicant Training. And we are starting on the Douglas County Community Services DDML page. Here is the address. If you, most of you have probably already been on this page. If not, if you Google Douglas County DDML grant, it is the top hit. You can click on that and arrive here. This gives you an overview of the grant, who it is intended to serve, and just as a note, it's intended to serve Douglas County residents with intellectual or developmental disabilities. The definition of IDD, as defined by the state of Colorado, you can click on this link and find it to make sure that that is the population that you are intending to serve, and that this grant is a good fit. Also on this page, you will find the DDML long-range plan. There is a question in the application that refers to this plan, so you can find the plan here for your reference. The scoring rubric is here. If you click on this link, so you can see exactly how the application will be scored. Below here, this is what is contained in the application, what is required. So you can gather that info, you can look that over and gather the information. The grant timeline, it's open June 16th, to July 17th. After it closes, the advisory council reviews the applications, makes recommendations to the Board of County Commissioners, who make the final decision as far as the awards goes. And then the funds, contracts will be dispersed at that point. Once they're signed, funds will be distributed. That usually occurs in January or February of the following year. So we're looking at 2026 then, January or February 2026. Projects run through the following year. So the 2026 is when the projects will occur, and then reports are due in January of 2027. Reference training materials is here under applicant training. And then here is my information if you do need any assistance. So we'll go back up and get in the application. Here is the link to the application. It can also be found right down here on Applicant online application. For those of you that have applied in the past, if you have saved the eCivis, that's the platform we use. If you have saved that page and you go to that page and log in your information, then you search for this 2025 DDML grant, you're not going to find it. So this is the only way, this page is the only way to get there. So you'll need to click here or here, and it will take you to that page, and then you will log into eCivis. So we'll go ahead and do that. So here we are at the eCivis login page for this DDML grant. Do want to point this out before we hit the apply button here. This is some important information. I would suggest that you read these tabs, each of these tabs. I also want to note this year we have $500,710 in grant funds to disperse. My contact information is here. Here's my email. Also have my cell and my office phone if you need to contact me with any questions. So we're going to go ahead and hit apply. And it will bring you here. I have created, if this is your first time applying, you will need to create an account. And if you, so we'll go ahead, and then there's also an option, you can't see it here. Here it is. If you forgot your password, you can also reset that here, but you're going to hit the portal login. Okay. And here we are going to hit create new application. All right, and once we hit that once, our application, believe it or not, has been created. It's going to make us sign in again. So we will do that. Okay, and the first thing that you will need to do is take a look at your profile. If you already have one in there, it might ask you to just confirm that it is still all valid. So you'll open that up and see that's the case in my situation. I'm going to go ahead and complete this information. So that we can move along. And the good thing about this application too is you can save it and come back to it. So you don't have to do it all at once if you're missing some information and need to get that before you continue. Believe I have completed all the necessary fields. Great. So the profile is complete. And here is the application, our new application. It does not have a title yet. We will give it a title when we complete the application. So we're going to go ahead and hit this open afterwards. All right, here we go. See, here's the save draft. If we need to, once we're done, we hit mark complete. And I will go ahead and complete this. So here we have the DDML grant eligibility check. Gives you the definition of IDD, and you need to confirm that you will be serving individuals that meet this definition and Douglas County residents that meet that definition. So we'll go ahead and certify that. All right, and then we get some information just about the organization. So the name, what kind of an organization, mission. I'm just going to go ahead and put a letter in right now so that we can move on. But here's, you'd list your organization's mission, services provided by your organization. And I want to point out there's some subtext below some of these questions. So I would take a look at that subtext as you're answering that question too, because that gives you an idea of what information we're looking for. Total individuals served by your organization last year. So this is just the total Douglas County individuals with IDD served by your organization last year. Now we get into some financial questions about your organization, your fiscal year, start and end date, expenditure. Here you would upload, and here you would upload, we're just going to go ahead and do that so we can get through it. We'll upload these. They can be PDFs, Excel spreadsheets, Word docs. And then we'll get the W-9 form. So you would upload your forms. Then we get into the project details. So this is the application project title. This is where you get to name your project, and you will see it on that card that we saw on the previous page. How much you're requesting, category that best describes your project. Are you requesting funds for a vehicle? If you are, it will ask you a few more questions regarding that vehicle. If you mark yes, some other questions will pop up. Your scope of work. So this is where you're going to describe what the money is going to be used for, and how your project aligns with the priorities of the long-range plan. So that's where you could refer to that plan that I saw. So what we are wanting to know here is exactly how the funds will be used. We're going to go ahead and put some text in there so that we can move on. Experience and capacity. There's some subtext here too, so you can describe, answer those questions. I won't get into those to save some time here. Targeted population. Anyhow, if you're going through these and you have any questions about the, you need some more information about these questions, there is a lot of subtext to this, so I think it's fairly clear. But if you do need some more help, please feel free to reach out to me. So number served, this is where you would put in the number of Douglas County individuals with IDD plan to be served through this specific project. How many new clients you intend to serve. If you've done this project before and you're expanding, then you'd put, we want to add 5 more places, 5 more individuals to the program. You could put that there, or 10. Then this asks a question about support needs, individuals, how many individuals with more complex support needs you plan on serving. Here you can put any additional information about the individuals that you plan to serve through the project. Timeline. You'd go through your project's timeline there. Goals and outcomes. Again, some more subtext, so I'll let you look at that, and I will just keep moving through. Collaboration. Here you would explain any non-financial collaborative elements and partners associated with your project. So again, non-financial. So if you are receiving referrals from different organizations, if somebody is, you're using a space, anybody that's helping with you and contributing to the success of your project in a non-financial manner, you would list them here. Last question regarding the project details. Again, there's subtext there to look at. Then we get into your project financials, where you will describe any other leveraging, any other financial leveraging for the project. And here we have our project budget. So here, beforehand, we had a budget in eService that you would complete. We also had a leveraging form. A unit cost spreadsheet that you would fill out. We're not using those this year. We're just having you upload the budget, a budget that you create for your project. So it can be a PDF, Word, or Excel. And basically the justification we're just asking you to provide, the background, the support documentation that how you came up with your request amount and where the money's, how it's going to be used, where you came up with the costs and things. And here you can provide more information regarding your budget, some details. And here at the very bottom is additional information attachment. So if there's a question I didn't ask, some more information that you think is important and you would like the advisory council to consider with your application, you could write it all here. And you can also upload any documentation that you think that you would like considered with your application. So let me go ahead. I forgot about completing these. Let me go ahead and just pop something in here so that I can show you what it looks like. when we submit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save my draft. Going to mark it as complete. Great. So now it's complete. I could still go back in there and make some changes. So, I forgot something. I can click edit and get back in there and do that. So once you mark it complete, you could still go in there and do it. But now it is ready to submit. So once I submit, I cannot make any changes. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you get confirmation that it has been submitted. So I can view my application here if I want to. And then it goes through and shows me what I've done. So let me close that out. So that is what it looks like. And I want to also point something out. So my profile, if I need to make any changes, I can get into it there. My applications. So here, as I said before, is that's the one that I just submitted, and I am able to reapply to other ones to create a new application to if I want to. Again, I would go through that portal. I'll just kind of show you what that looks like real quick. I hit apply. I'm already logged in there. Here's the application that I had before. I can also hit the create new application and basically start all over again with something new, a new project. And again, I then would go and hit here, log in. And since I just did my profile, that part is complete. It's not having me do that again. There's my other application. Here is where I start my new one if I have a second project that I would like to apply for. So then we'd go here and then I would have that. So anyhow, that concludes the training for today. I appreciate your joining me and look forward to reading your proposal with the advisory council. Thank you so much. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'm available to help you in any way I can. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.